Now, you were telling me a fascinating part about this that I wasn't aware of. It was the idea of all the money that's flooded into Iran because Russia has been purchasing ammunition from North Korea and from Iran. So
That's
that
right.
hard currency flooded into those, which then was turned around and used in large extent. I find it
Not
fascinating
laundered
we
money.
call that clean money, if that's not propaganda.
Yeah,
we
I
have
think-
blood diamonds and we have clean money? Come on, man.
So this comes from the Financial Times this week. Iran did not use crypto to launder its money.
Use Federal Reserve.
It used Federal Reserve regulated
Pallets of cash.
Lloyd's of London and Santander to
How do they use-
Spanish
that's the-
bank
their
and
Isn't Santander
British,
the bank?
English bank, I
I'm
think,
thinking of
European
the
bank.
Spanish,
Yeah.
Santander
car
is
loan
Spanish.
people here
Yep.
in Dallas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but they
There's
have
another bank.
they have a branch here in
It's owned by the same company. Yeah, it's a foreign
So
company.
they use Santander UK to, I mean, and this is what Alona was from Ukraine Dow always likes. London is like the money laundering capital of the world. That must be where they get most of their wealth from. But yeah, there's this really, I don't know if you've got the article, Sohail. There's this like really complex.
They followed the money.
Talk about beneficial ownership reporting.
That's probably why they wanted to break that.
Because they're lazy.
about midway
Too
through
lazy
this
to do it
article.
themselves. No.
Yeah, this is where the shell game they played with the money to evade the sanctions in Russia or sanctions in Iran around with the.
Now, you were telling me a fascinating part about this that I wasn't aware of. It was the idea of all the money that's flooded into Iran because Russia has been purchasing weapons from North Korea, ammunition from North Korea and from Iran. So
That's
that
right.
hard currency flooded into those, which then was turned around and used in large extent. Now, that's something that probably didn't pop up in general, but it basically flushed with cash, which is one of the reasons maybe October 7th happened.
Yeah. So this was I mean, this isn't just like, fringe reporting or something deep down. It's just me having heard a bunch of different stories and putting the pieces together.
Right.
So by the way, the chart is about midway through this article, Sohail, if you want to show it on the screen. But what Jim's talking about was, so there's an NPR report and there was like a New York Times report, and I want to say Wall Street Journal, but I may be wrong on that one. But they were talking about how where is Russia getting all of its armaments from, and they have a specific type of artillery weaponry that you can't just get the shells that fit it everywhere, and that's primarily what their military uses. The only place where there was a giant stockpile of that artillery shell was in North Korea because they've been stocking it up for like the last 50 years. And
Basically war dogs in real life.
right, and then from the Iranian side, the only place that was had sufficiently advanced drone technology that was willing to sell to Russia because of the other sanctions we'd applied against Iran was Iran. And so they've been selling them drones, and North Korea has been selling them shells. And so that's where Iran and both North Korea and Iran, which have been North Korea has been kind of cybersecurity thorn in America's side for a minute now. They're being much more well funded because of that. They've been engaging in a whole lot of crypto related hacks and ransomware attacks on things because they're much more well funded than they used to be a couple of years ago. And Iran, very notably a funder of Hamas and Hezbollah. And this influx of cash into Iran comes in very suspiciously timed right before October the 7th attack. And it kind of made me feel like, like this, it was kind of like 9/11 was a plan that was in Al-Qaeda's playbook for 10 years before they used it.
Well, yeah, but you have to keep in consideration, like there are, if you look at that diagram right there, there are three stages of money laundering, and they don't all happen like immediately, right? So like the money is there and ready for use, but it goes through this process. It's placement, layering, and integration. Placement is like, where did they enter the financial system, right? And so if you look at that at the top, you see where it came in. Layering is creating complex transactions. Does that look cut and dry to you? No, of course. They're moving that stuff all around, and then they integrate it by then taking that money, taking that now clean money, and giving it back out as if it was like
I find it
not
fascinating
laundered
we
money,
call that clean money. If that's not propaganda,
right? Well, I mean,
we
I
have
think
blood diamonds and we have clean money. Come on, man.
Right.
the thing that's
right there in
fascinating,
the name.
the thing that's fascinating to me about, again, Bitcoin, right? For example, and we have the best of provenance. You can see exactly where it came from,
Right.
where it was.
It is trackable. This is
know?
what people don't grasp. It is trackable.
So, like, it really makes it a lot easier to find this kind
Yeah.
of behavior.
This is why this
So
comments
that's
about
why it's also frustrating to me to see that people think that it's the only and the best way to
Yeah,
money
we
launder.
use
It's
it.
like
Well,
it's like
Elizabeth
kind of
Warren.
the worst. It's kind of the worst way to
it's
money
value,
launder.
and people don't agree. It's
Yeah.
not that it's untrackable. It's not that it can be used for crime. That's correct. But the bigger issue is that you can't freeze it and get rid of it the way that you can with anything else. It makes you free to do what you want. It doesn't mean it's not tracked. It doesn't mean it doesn't re-enter the system at different points.
Yep.
The whole point is that you don't get to take my money because you disagree that I eat at Chick-fil-A or that I invaded a country or that I
Right.
pissed off your prime minister. Like whatever, either very serious or very silly, because we've seen both of those.
Yep.
And that's the problem. It's like
This-
we can go, okay, bad people shouldn't have access. But what about Bill? All Bill did was get on TV and embarrass the mayor, and now he doesn't have a bank.
Yeah.
That's what Bitcoin does differently, is it stops the abuse of government.
You're watching The Merge, business, finance, and tech news and opinion. We keep you up to date so you don't have to go out there searching for what's new. You can hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, hit the TikTok subscribe, the Instagram subscribe. We're going to keep you up to date wherever you are.